Hi, everybody. I'm Debbie Belaus. I am the owner of Qigong with Debbie. I teach Tai Chi, Qigong, yoga, meditation, mostly all the Eastern practices. Well, look at me. You've heard of that expression, she wears her heart in her sleeve. Well, I'm wearing all my organs on my sleeve, on my body. So I've been teaching with this outfit on the past week or so, and people love it because I think I know I'm a very visual learner. So, when I'm teaching and I'm talking about a certain body part, a lot of people don't know where they are, or you think you know where they are, but can't really see maybe or visualize where it is. And I feel that in order to take really good care of ourselves, that we need to understand, where our body parts are. And I teach these Eastern practices, and we talk about our organs all the time and how our organs are affected by all kinds of things. But I think this might be helpful to understand on another layer of what's going on in our body, where these body parts are, and how they move, like what's happening. So when I'm talking about, moving your rib cage, well, what is that doing besides just moving my rib cage, as you can see? My rib cage is hitting the side of my body. It's starting to move also my digestive system, uh, parts of the body. It's getting massaged. As you can see, the back end of it. What's my spine doing? The spine is going from side to side. There's a lot of mobility when I come forward and go back. Again, you're seeing that movement of what the spinal cord is actually doing. As you can see, these kidneys are kind of misplaced. They're not quite this big in our body. They sit more over here. But what happens with we have here is a muscle. It's called the psoas muscle, and it starts from right by the kidneys. It travels over your hips, and then it comes right in the front, right in the inside here. That's a psoas muscle that is used a lot for lifting your leg, walking, all kinds of things. The rotation of the hip. And then especially the organs. So we talk about the organs so much in traditional Chinese medicine, which is TCM. And as you can see, the heart is on your left side, and it sits right under. Now this might a mirror. I have to mirror you, so it's actually on your left side, and it sits right underneath the rib cage. This cage is called a cage because it looks like a cage. It has all these are the intercostal muscles that run between all your ribs. This is when I talk about your intercostal muscles, and we need to stretch them because they help with the movement of your rib cage. If they get tight and congested, it's going to pull on that rib cage. It's going to impede on your breathing. So it's really important to have these intercostal muscles moved and stretched so you can get that flexibility in this whole rib cage. Look how big it is. And we have this sternum. It's a flat bone, and it holds this all together. And then there's some space here, as you can see, an opening here. And right underneath, we have our diaphragm, that huge muscle that helps to breathe. So when we talk about diaphragm breathing, this is where it sits kind of right under this rib cage. It moves down. So we know we're layers of stuff. As you can see here, I'm going to come back to that. You can see here, this is the liver, and the liver is a very large, I always talk about it's like the size of a football almost, the very large organs, one of the largest solid organs in the body. And then we have our gallbladder, and we have uh, um, I can't remember this one. But we have these major organs right here, or spleen, sorry, the spleen, right here, sitting right underneath the diaphragm. So when I talk about, and then here's the large intestines, small intestines. And look at the mass here in this digestive system. The mass, if you were to open this up, just think about how it would be so long, and it's all curled up here. So if we're congested, if we don't have proper, alignment in our body, standing or sitting, everything kind of gets squished because everything is tight in here. Everything is nicely packed in here. Um, and so when we're just even using our diaphragm, that large muscle that sits right here, and we're moving up and down. You can't see the diaphragm in this picture, but the diaphragm, this would be the beginning of the diaphragm right here. When you're breathing in the diaphragm, you are massaging all of these organs. So if you're not breathing correctly and you're only breathing in this upper chest, you're always doing this kind of movement, you're going to have tightness in your shoulders and tightness in your neck. The upper thoracic spine's getting way too much movement. Uh, if you're just breathing from this area of your body. So you're going to have all this tightness in this region. But if you learn how to breathe fully and deeply in the diaphragm, and the diaphragm is moving up and down, you're getting this wonderful massage of the organs. So you're missing out on this wonderful massage of all the organs. Same thing with the kidneys, breathing in the back, getting again that massaging of your kidneys in the back part of your body. So I'm going to do some movements that I regularly do in my Qigong practice, so you can see exactly what's happening here with the movements of this whole region of your body. So that whole shaking and tapping thing that I do, that's what we're doing. We're tapping all these regions of our body to keep them vibrating, to keep them circulating, to break up stagnation. So the whole thing is stagnation. If the body's stagnant from different reasons, not eating the right foods, not moving properly, not moving enough, the body gets stagnant like a lake. When a pond gets stagnant, it turns green and putrid. That's your body. So we got to get this stuff moving. We want to move in ways that really aid in the releasing of toxins in our body as well, getting all these directional movements that I talk about all the time. So we're really getting the organs to function at its optimal level. All the shaking that we do, again, you're getting that vibration in the body so these organs can stay healthy. So again, take a look at what this looks like. And when I'm doing some movements, maybe you'll be able to understand visually, exactly why we're doing this stuff and the benefits of why we're doing all these kinds of movements. So I think I'll just go right into we'll start some oscillating, getting the body ready. So what's happening here? So as you're seeing, there's a lot of movement in my rib cage. There's a lot of movement, massaging the organs again, massaging that liver and the spleen and the gallbladder. Also, you'll see that movement some movement here, also in this digestive system. You're also seeing movement in my hips, my knees, all these large muscle groups of the legs are the powerhouse of your body. Like, look at all these muscles here. This is the powerhouse of your body. This is where you get your really good strength, keeping these muscles not only strong, but also, limber, can look at that, all those insertions of muscles on the knee. If you're not stretching them, they're going to get tight. They're going to hurt your knee. Same thing with the long hamstring muscle around the calf. If this is not lengthened and stretched, it's going to impede because everything inserts here on the low back. It's going to hurt your low back. So it's important that we recognize, what we're doing. So here's my clavicle bones moving up and down. I'm able to, again, getting the rib cage, this huge rib cage that protects your lungs. Your lungs sit right behind that rib cage. And then we have the heart behind there. So remember, we're layers of stuff. And then we have this fascia material that is web-like, and it's all over our body. And if it's not moving and getting hydrated, it's going to rip, it's going to tear, it's going to cause a lot of pain in the body. So again, what's happening here? I could see my rib cage moving. I can see the lungs moving. I can see all the liver moving, the gallbladder and the spleen moving. I could see my digestive system moving. If you look in the back, you can see my spine. Spine is also moving. The back ribs are moving also. The kidneys are moving. That whole region of the body is moving. And then we'll start to do some shaking. So now what's happening here? Now we're adding this vibration, it's kind of like a washing machine washing everything. Again, just from the shaking, you can see what's happening to, again, the digestive system, these organs that sit above the digestive system, everything's starting to shake and move. You can see also I'm shaking, my muscles are moving. So we're releasing some toxins out of the muscles. You can see the knees, again, all that, the shin, that whole area surrounded by these muscle mass. So for the shaking is all about releasing, joint pain. It's about getting the organs vibrating so they can kind of wake up and circulate your system. You can see see the calf muscles are pumping. Those calf muscles are pumping. That helps to pump your lymphatic fluid. So your lymphatic fluids start to pump up through the pumping of the calf muscles all the way up to the top of your neck where you have all these lymph nodes. So again, really notice what it's also doing to this huge digestive system. We really want to take care of that digestive system, getting it functioning at its optimal level so everything else can work properly. So remember, when we're doing these movements, these are all helping to release your toxins, to get the system going, get all your juices going in your body. Now, another one when we do directional movement. So here's a back bend. So what's happening here? I'm stretching this whole front of my body, and all these organs are being stretched. And then when I come forward, there's a compression here. So it's another squeezing, kind of like squeezing a dirty towel or sponge. You're squeezing, and then you lean back and you open that, and then you exhale and you squeeze it out. You open this space, create space in your body because it starts to get compressed, and that causes problems in the body. Now, when the back bend, so here's a back bend, you can see everything squeezing in. My shoulder blades are right here, these white. Now, this is rather large, but these are your shoulder blades. They're squeezing in. I shift, I'm going to tuck my tailbone under now. You can see the back of my spine opening, creating that space in the back body again, going back and forth. So different direction of what's happening here. So I'm really squeezing those shoulder blades together. Then I pull them apart. And this helps to open up all that congestion that we get in our neck, we get in our head, we get in our shoulders especially. So another view of that. When you're rotating, directional movement, rotating, look with this. Look at this. Let's look at the foot, the leg, rotating that whole part, your knee, all those muscles around the knee, all the way up into that hip joint, this huge powerhouse part of your body, all these huge muscles here. When you're rotating, then we start to rotate. That's why I love rotation, because it does so much. Now look what's happening. Now this whole area, this whole region of your body, the digestive system is getting a great movement to open that space up. You don't want to get it clogged up. You don't want that to clog. You want to have good bowel movements all the time. You can move it around. You got to move. Again, back view. So now I'm moving. You can see my kidneys moving, getting a massage in the kidney region, in the low back, all these vertebrae where people get really jammed up from accidents, poor posture, not enough movement again. So just by doing this rotation, now you can see the upper body spinal cord moving, that spinal cord, the shoulders. Again, big difference. Now I'm going to do the arms. So you can see that rotation of that shoulder joint, of the clavicle bone moving, other direction. Again, you're going to see that movement here in this upper part of the body, coming in, squeezing everything together, opening up, squeezing together, opening up. Just doing this. Look at that movement here. You're squeezing, you're cleaning. The organs are going, thank you. You're bringing some blood flow. You're bringing some of those fluids that my body needs in these organs. If you're never moving, you're not getting that pumping. You're not getting that natural resource of fluids, synovial fluid, all that good stuff. Then we do a side bend. So we're going to do a side bend, and look at this stretch all the way over, opening up the rib cage, those intercostal muscles on the side of your body. Remember, we have a back body, we have a side body, we have a front body. So you want to move that body in these many different directions. So see what's going on, again, with the rib cage, the organs. You'll see a back view of that. Again, these, and this is what's happening inside. So we want to take a look inside, and this is getting that look inside of your body of what these things are doing. Then we go into a twisting flexion. We're moving our spine in many different directions. When I always talk about is so important. Now what's happening? Now you're getting that wringing out again, that big wringing out of your toxins, moving these organs so you can actually see them moving, getting squeezed out, keeping them clean, rid of toxins. So this is a wonderful twisting. It's such a great movement, directional movement for the body. Then we're going to come into one of my favorites called the dragon movement, the swimming dragon. This is a big one. This is why they call the dragon series in Qigong the longevity movements, because they really move the whole entire body. As you can see, moving that digestive system, moving the liver and the spleen, the gallbladder, moving the rib cage, also back view, seeing that movement of the spine. Look at how it's moving here. Just a beautiful movement for your nervous system. Your nervous system is housed in the spinal cord. So again, as you're moving the spinal cord, you're getting that flexibility in each vertebrae. You're getting your nervous system, all the nerve endings fired up, and in a good way, fired up in a good way. Moving my arms overhead. Again, you're creating some space in that vertebrae. Beautiful movements for your body. We'll do a crossover. So what's happening here in the crossover? I'm opening my arms. I'm using my thigh muscles, strengthening the lower part of my body. And this upper body is also getting a flush out through the arms. Back view. So I'm trying to give you a full view of what's happening here in these movements. So look, the glutes, they're big. They're a powerhouse to your body. So you want to, just do squats are just a really good thing to work on. That psoas muscle I was talking about, stretching it. So because that psoas muscle has to wrap around the hips to the inside of the legs, it needs to be stretched. It needs to be moved. Again, keeping this lower part of your body is your powerhouse. It keeps you, stable. And then the upper part of the body is where you have all your major organs that keeps you moving like a good engine in a car. Your heart, your digestive system, huge, major system for the body. The liver flushes out. The spleen flushes out. These are all flushing out organs. You're squeezing them. You're pumping them. You're getting all that movement that it needs, that twist. Look what that twist does, moving that digestive system. Now the tapping, which we do a lot of, tapping the head, and then we're going to tap. So these are the clavicle bones right here. Tapping right underneath that clavicle bone is your kidney meridian. So we're tapping that region of her body. This is also where your lungs are. See where your lungs are? So any kind of tapping for the lungs is excellent. Breaks up any congestion. Keeps your lungs clean. Right behind the sternum, I talk about the thymus gland. It's a gland that sits right behind this sternum here. We tap that often because they create, your thymus glands, you're part of your immune system, helps create white blood cells to fight off disease, to fight off bacteria, to fight off colds, to fight off any kind of pathogens that might be coming into your system. You can fight it off. Important. Your immune system is a big system to help fight off any pathogens entering your body. If you happen to get sick, if your immune system's strong, you'll be able to rebound a lot quicker. And then just tapping this whole region of where the lungs are. You could see these lungs just sitting right here. We're tapping them. We're creating a vibration, breaking up any congestion. And then tapping, the liver right here, tapping around this whole organ area, which we do a lot of, just tapping. You should always probably go right to left is always the best direction. It's the natural direction of, your things leaving your digestive system. But also we have, and too bad this doesn't show lymph nodes, but we have so many lymph nodes here in this whole region too. Remember, we're layer upon layer of things and everything's just sitting, it's compact right here. So we want to keep these organs very, very healthy. And doing these shaking, doing the tapping, doing the Qigong movements, doing yoga movements, stretching. We stretch out, you compress, you stretch out, you compress. The Qigong, you're cultivating energy through your system, taking this energy and let it do its work. Energy wants to move. It has to move. It's there. It's formless. You don't see it, but you feel it. So after a class, people always tell me, I feel lighter. I feel more relaxed. Yeah, that's because you're releasing the grip, for one thing. You're releasing toxins, makes you lighter. You're getting energy restored again to flush out the system. So all these organs are working at its optimal level. That's why you're going to feel lighter. That's why you're going to have more energy. It is such a powerful, it's a natural healing modality. These TCMs, the traditional Chinese medicine movements, philosophy, they're all wonderful. I especially love Qigong. It's easy to do. And then I love Tai Chi. So that's a kind of a short lesson in some of these movements. Like, look at that. If you could actually see what you're doing and could see the outside of your body, you would do this stuff more. You would do these movements a lot more. So, again, if you have tight fists, it's tense, right? Release the grip and you have more of an open body. Release the grip from your body, the stress, the strain. You're always holding on. We're holding on to our breath. We're never breathing properly. As soon as you let go, everything just opens and you're going to feel 100% better. It's going to maintain your health in a very natural way. So Tai Chi, I teach Tai Chi also, and Tai Chi is just a smooth move. You can't move smoothly if you're tight. So that's why we do Qigong. We do Qigong to kind of shake up the body, release all the, the stagnation, get the juices going, get the flow going, start to release the stress out of the body. Then you can start to flow. Then everything seems gentler, softer. These are just a few Qigong, Tai Chi movements. You're always kind of moving the energy in many different directions. The whole body's moving from the feet, the waist, and the arms. Everything's just naturally flowing. So you flow to glow. You flow, you get the flow going. It'll make you pink, plump, and moist. You'll feel joy. You'll feel a higher level of energy through all these movements. So again, look what's happening. I'm doing another pump. I'm doing a Tai Chi move. Phoenix rises from the flames. We're pumping. We're lifting up, expanding and releasing, expanding and releasing, expanding and releasing. And then when you do other things like cloud hands, things are moving again, as you can see, in more of a flow. It's not jarring to the body. It's not jarring to the body, and the whole body is moving in in a nice rhythm, slow flow, a slow flow. Like the tortoise always wins the race, even though it's slow. So it's a slow, open flow. Slow and steady. That's what I was looking for. Slow and steady. There's no race here. We're not racing to the end. Who wants to race to the end? That means death. So let's take our time. Let's improve our health in a natural, beautiful, soft way, opening it up, understanding the inner works of the body, why you're doing certain things will make a huge difference. And hopefully then you start to enjoy it. You start to do it more often. The body's at its optimal level. You're repairing what you have damaged over the years, and you're restoring what you have left. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to repair the body from the past. We're dumb when we're young. We just go a mile a minute between the ages of 33 and 58. Those are the high level times of our life. We get blown out by the time we're 55 from that high intensity. Then it's our job to repair it and to restore it. And these practices help us to do that in a very mindful and beautiful way. I hope this helps. This visual helps. Let me know in the comments what you think. And have a wonderful, wonderful day. And you could wear your organs on your sleeve too. Thank you, everyone, and namaste.